Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I'm going to go over Day 4 of the Memorial Day sale 2018 as a part of the Catalog Flashback series. So yeah, let's start in. So if you don't know what the Catalog Flashback series is, it's pretty much a series where I cover a past catalog update or event just for nostalgia's sake because it's fun to look back at some of the things that happened in Roblox's past and how they have changed from then to now. So this is purely a flashback, nothing here is recent, this is just to look back at a past thing that happened a couple years ago just for fun. So this is the last day of me covering this sale. I covered the first 3 days of the sale in earlier parts, so if you do want to check those out, they will all be linked in the description so you can watch them in chronological order if you do want to follow this sale. But this is going to be the final day of the Memorial Day sale in 2018 here. So last time I ended off day 3 here with the Violet Volk Shades releasing here on a timer, and we did start off the Monday of the sale, which was actually Memorial Day itself. We did start the day here with a headphone wave. We did see the electric pink headphones get discounted 50% off. We did also see the Star Player headphones actually go limited here as well, along with the Musica Frigidus Dominator also go limited. We saw the Fallout Hazard headphones get discounted for 50% off, along with the headphones and orange cap also get a discount, along with the Mischief headphones also getting a discount to 500 Robux as well. And the last one as a part of this wave was the Money headphones, which also did end up receiving a discount there. So electric pink headphones right over here, this was actually discounted 50% off, so it was available for 225 Robux. Now it's available for its original price of 550. This is definitely a pretty cool little item here that was released, and it was a nice choice that actually was discounted here as a part of this wave. It's a pretty underrated pair of headphones, not my favorites here, so it's also on the more expensive side, so it getting half off was definitely a good choice from Roblox right over there. Then we did see these Star Player headphones actually go limited here. They were originally 500 Robux, and they didn't actually do that well once they went limited. They struggled quite a bit, selling above 1,000, but seems like as of recently they did pretty decently here, and it seems like they're doing fine here, where after a few sales it already goes up quite a lot, so not a bad one. These were of course pretty notable due to them being related to a Star Player feature, which is no longer available, but they were themed after that feature, so definitely a pretty cool pair of headphones here if you're able to get it originally before it did end up well limited here as a part of the sale. Then right over here, the Musica Frigidus Dominator also well limited as a part of the sale. These were originally 10,000, so a pretty expensive original price, but they're doing pretty well, selling for around 80, so definitely not too bad if you were able to get them originally, as you were definitely able to make quite the profit. They did get quite a few sales though, almost 400, which is pretty high for something that's pretty expensive, but still they're definitely a pretty well liked item here, and ones that have been pretty successful here as a limited. So not a bad choice of unlimited and a nice addition to the Dominator series. Next up right over here, the Fallout Hazard headphones. These are available for half off, so available for 125 Robux. Definitely not a bad choice either. Here to get discounted, they definitely did pretty well, as they have over 10,000 favorites, so not a bad one here if you're able to get it when it was discounted, but it's still relatively affordable here if you still do want to get it for its original price. Next up here, headphones and orange cap, once again also discounted half off. It was available for 75 Robux during the sale, so another pretty affordable one here. Once again has quite a lot of favorites, over 10,000, so definitely not so bad. It was a pretty cool item to have gotten a discount despite already being relatively cheap, but still giving a nice affordable item here to many users that don't actually have that much Robux, so not a bad choice to have been discounted during the sale. Then right over here, Mischief headphones were also half off. They were available for 500 Robux instead of the original 1,000 price. This was definitely a good choice, very expensive here, 1,000 for this pair of headphones, so getting it for 500 was definitely a good deal. They don't seem to be doing that great in terms of popularity, but still a pretty nice pair of headphones. They also have little horns on the front, so not a bad choice to have been discounted here if you were able to get it for 500. And the same case here with the money ones, also half off, available for 500. So if you weren't able to afford it at its original price of 1,000, it was definitely another good choice to have been discounted, given that 1,000 is a pretty expensive price for these pair of headphones. So not a bad choice to have been discounted here if you were able to get it for half off during the sale. Now the next wave here for this sale was actually the face wave, and they usually had a face wave towards the end of the sale of limited faces. It would be a series of faces, usually being the same kind of style, but the color being slightly different, and that is the same case here with these dragon faces, where they all have the same style, but there is a slight color variation between them. So the first one here was the Red Ultimate Dragon Face, which released for 250 Robux with a stock of 10,000 copies. This was the rarest and most expensive one, and then they slowly got more cheaper and also less rare. The next one was the blue one for 100 Robux and 25,000 copies, and the last one here was the Green Ultimate Dragon Face for 25 Robux with 50,000 copies available. They did also release this upside down face, which was not unlimited, but it did release here on this day as a regular item where you were able to purchase it for 5,000 Robux on a timer of 1 day. So over here, Red Ultimate Dragon Face, definitely a pretty cool one. It seems to have done pretty well, especially a bit earlier in the year, selling for around 4,000, but it has dropped down since then. But still, all of these faces are pretty much going to be a very easy profit if you're able to get them, so definitely not a loss if you're able to get this one. It seems to be doing pretty decently, jumps up quite a bit after a few sales, so not a bad one, a nice little addition to this little Dragon Face series, and the same could be said with the other two. Although they are not as expensive as the others, they are all very cheap and easily profits, so if you're able to get them, they were definitely nice purchases as they do have relatively high demand and you're able to make a nice profit there. And same here with the green one, once again, the cheapest of the three but still doing pretty decent. It was only 25 bucks, so you really can't go wrong with that, so not a bad choice here if you're able to get any of these three as you're able to profit from them. And then right over here is the upside down face. It's pretty much the regular face but tilted 180 degrees, so not too bad. It was pretty expensive though. 5,000 is quite a lot, especially for something like this. It is massively popular though, given how many favorites it has, especially for something that was only available for a day. This is quite a lot of favorites here. The chances of it returning right now are pretty slim, given Roblox is kind of on this kind of dynamic head path, so it might be a little bit shaky on if we see this face return, but if you're able to get it, it's definitely a pretty cool choice here. Despite the high price, this is a pretty iconic item here that released during the sale, so if you're able to get it, definitely not too bad here as a nice purchase to have gotten during the duration of the sale. Now right after that, we did get a new face accessory. We did get the Real Electric Stunnas, which released for 20,000 Robux on a timer of only 12 hours. So a pretty short timer, but a pretty expensive item here. We did also get a new item, the black long and straight hair here for 25 Robux. So a very affordable item there to have been released as a part of the sale. We did also get a new item, the Gold Master Knight, which released for 250 Robux as a regular item that you're able to purchase. And you can still purchase it right now as well. And that was actually the last new item of the sale. After that, everything kind of just went off sale and went back to its normal prices here. So it was a pretty short little day for the last day of the sale. Here, only a few waves, but definitely a lot of pretty notable items during that wave. So over here, starting off with the Real Electric Stunnas. These are part of the Stunnas series, which there are flaming and ice variants of. These do look a little bit different than those, and they were not received that well when they initially released, as they definitely did not really strike as something that was worth the price of 20,000 Robux, which actually meant that they didn't actually get a lot of sales, which they only got 51 sales, which makes this a very rare item here. And we can see it paid off for a lot of the owners. It sold for 400,000 just recently, has over 400,000 average price, and is selling for almost 2 million. So you were definitely able to profit if you did buy this originally. It's a very expensive rare item now, so if you're able to get it, that was definitely a good choice here, despite the looks maybe not being worth the price range initially. Next up, the black long and straight here, one that is very affordable here. We can see that in its favorite count, almost 200,000 favorites. It has quite a lot of sales. It is a retexture of a very popular hairstyle, where the blonde version is actually very popular here, so not a bad item here. A very good choice to have in retexture and a nice cheap item to be available to many users that actually do like this hairstyle. So that'd be a pretty cool one, a nice little new item here. So I've been released towards the end of the day. Same case here, the Golden Master Knight. This one's also pretty cool. There is a silver variant of this one, so definitely pretty nice choice of been retextured as well. This one is 250 Robux, which isn't too bad either for this item, so not a bad new item here to end off the day 4 of the Memorial Day sale. So yeah, that was the Memorial Day sale 2018 on Roblox. I would say it was a pretty decent sale. There was definitely quite a lot of big items that released during the sale, including the Toxic Horns. We did see the Upside Down Face released just today on day 4 of the sale, so definitely a lot of big items, but there's also a bit of critique here with a lot of the items actually releasing for pretty high prices, so that was a bit of a letdown for especially those that didn't have that much Robux to actually spend here. But yeah, that will finish my coverage of the Memorial Day sale of 2018. Let me know what your thoughts are on this sale, if you were able to participate when it was actually happening in 2018, and if you still have some of the items that you were actually able to purchase during this time. But yeah, that's finished the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!